Extraordinary scenes here in Wellington Central tonight. I mean, look at this. Very good, Grant. I want to talk a bit about this issue here, North Korea, because of all the issues that we have talked about, they all pale into comparison if a nuclear-tipped missile all of a sudden strikes another country. So I want to talk about that, international relations. Andy Foster, you first, New Zealand first. Is New Zealand at risk from whatever North Korea does?
Look, we're all at risk if something goes wrong, so we've got to make sure it doesn't go wrong.
So what would you do? What would New Zealand first do in terms of diplomatic relations?
Well, the first thing is obviously we've got to keep talking. We're a very small country, but we're a country that's forged a proud record of being an independent thinker, and we're not threatening to anybody. The other thing I would say is that there is one party leader who has actually been to North Korea and helped negotiate, and actually went very, very well, and that's Winston Peters when he was Foreign Minister.
That's very interesting.
Gareth Morgan went too.
Very, very interesting. There you go. Charlotte?
Ben Hurley, what do you think? Are you scared of North Korea and the bomb?
Here's what we should do about North Korea. Absolutely nothing. Be very, very, very quiet. It's worked for us for a long, long time. New Zealand defence policy should be in two sections. One is be very far away. That's been working for a long time. The other section, it's actually exactly this. The second section is exactly the same as the Canadians, which is make sure you're next to a much more aggressive partner in the world. And the bombs sort of get distracted.
Yeah, I kind of one of those things, Nicola, very, very far away. That is true. But see, Helen Clark, she didn't go into the Iraq War. A lot of people kind of said that's fantastic. So what do you think? What do you think that New Zealand should do? Should we side with Donald Trump and the United States on this? Should we side with China? Who do you think we should side with? Or an independent policy?
Absolutely an independent policy. But I tell you what I worry about. One night at 2 in the morning, someone might get that call. And when that call happens, I want someone with experience and wisdom to take it.
Who will that be?
Bill English.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
Not my cup of tea.
All right. You heard that. When the alarm goes at 4 a.m., they want someone stable and sensible. And Nicola said it's Bill English. What do you make of what Nicola said?
Look, I'm sure that if Bill English took that call, he would respond in a responsible way. If Jacinda Ardern took that call, so would she. What I also know about her is that she shares the values of New Zealanders that we are a peaceful nation and that we're a nation that stands up for ourselves on the world stage and has been consistent about doing that. But Wallace, this is actually a problem that has to be solved by the international community together. The most important country in solving this is China, because China is the place where most of North Korea's exports go, and we have to get them in to the Security Council to have that discussion.
All right, Donald, what do you make of Donald Trump?
Definitely not my cup of tea, and in this particular instance, he needs to commit to that UN process.
Okay, now, James, our Foreign Minister Jerry Brownlee says Sunday's nuclear test by North Korea, and by the way, they've had 6 nuclear tests. It's quite I mean, it could happen, right? Yeah. This is the serious thing. It actually could happen. Said that the nuclear test by North Korea is utterly deplorable. I mean, is that strong enough?
Well,
what happens if we do wake up in sort of a couple of weeks' time and this happens?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, is as Grant says, the most influential country here is China, right? We have a very good relationship with China, and, you know, we can be sending diplomatic messages there, but we're kidding ourselves to think that we've actually got any diplomatic influence over what goes on in relation to the Korean crisis, right? So I think that we just need to maintain good relationships with all countries equally to the extent that we can, but actually this is not our fight.
It's not our fight. It's everyone's. Isn't it? Everyone's fight, Andy?
But here's the thing, Wallace, is that we can't influence whether or not it's going to happen, right? That it's going to, you know, whatever takes place is going to take place. We can influence the people that we've got relationships with, like the Americans, like the Chinese. We can have those conversations, but ultimately, this is one of those things that's going to happen with or without us. Right. And I do think it is incredibly unwise for us to be following Donald Trump into his into his wars. The guy is unstable.
True. Andy, Kim Jong-un, according to the Security Council, or the US representative, said Kim is begging for war. What sort of press release should Winston Peters, since he's been to North Korea, put out? A strongly worded statement take leadership. He's been there. Why can't Winston and New Zealand First take more leadership in this pressing international issue?
Well, I think when Winston Peters is part of government, we'll start the coalition negotiations now, and he's Minister of Foreign Affairs, then he's in a position to be able to do that.
What would that do? I mean, using strong language. Wallace, what would that do?
Yeah.
The New Zealand Foreign Minister says...
Look, if I could, as the candidate for Wellington Central, I'd give Kim a call and I'd say, pull your head, and it's all gone a bit far. But that's not going to have an impact.
Yeah.
Is it?
But yeah, as a country, we've got to back UN-based settlements here, because otherwise we run the risk of everything that happened in Iraq and everything that happened in Afghanistan. We have to back a multilateral solution.
Okay.
Agreed.
Into the audience, fella. I mean, we're talking to my wife Tabitha about this, and she's actually really concerned about the sort of the international relations and what might happen with China and Russia. Is the audience a bit wide or nah?
Sir, are you losing sleep over this?
Not particularly.
No. What about you? Are you worried about it? You are. Yeah.
I'm Asian. So,
You're Asian. Where are you from? What country?
Philippines.
Yeah. Something to worry about. What about you, sir?
Yep. Yeah,
You
it's
are
worrying.
genuinely worried about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sir?
I think it'll be all right. We're a pretty strong country, and I think we punch above our weight.
Nice work. A young Nat, what do you think?
Oh, I'm definitely worried, yes.
You are?
Yep.
Have you been losing sleep over it?
No.
And you?
I think we're pretty safe down here, eh?
Do you really?
Yeah.
Apparently Trump's having a phone call with Australia tomorrow morning.
Go the Donald!
Australia's pretty close to us.
They're a little bit further up.
Okay. What did... Oh, right. Okay. A drunk.
There you go. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really wide, Wellington Central, about a 3. So there you go. Look, next up, more backbenchers. Hashtag benches with the S. Back soon.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.